Hey guys, what is up? First of all, excuse me if I sound weird. It's because I got a cold this weekend and I'm recovering. I wanted to do this video to explain a little bit, or as best as I can, about the two set on the new here. I don't have my four set yet, as you can maybe see, but I will be getting it on Wednesday. That will also be something to take into account once you get to four sets. It changes a little bit. It opens up other possibilities, but I will not focus on that right now. So the two set, right? Uh, when Eclipse ends or when you enter combat, enter a dream state, reducing the cast time of your next two Starfires or Rats by 40% and increasing their damage by 100%. So what that means is that when you are not in combat, you will automatically be in this dream state and you will have two casts that are buffed by your two sets, right? So when you do a pull and like for an AoE or for a raid boss, when you're gonna pop Incarnation anyways, you're going to obviously use to cast Wrath two times, and you will see that they are way faster than normal. It's because of the two sets, and they do more damage. Um, I'm gonna demonstrate this as well, of course. So, like for the raid opener, like I'm sorry, I don't have any fancy graphics or anything like that, like some other people do. I'm not a professional. I might look into doing that, but we'll see, I guess. But for your opener for a raid boss, what you're doing is before it was around 4 seconds, you would cast two Wrath and then one Starfire, and then you would dot and pop your shit. Right. And now the opener is the same. However, because of the two set, you're going to cast those two rats much faster. So take that into account so that you don't ninja pull the boss. And how fast it is depends entirely on your haste levels. It's not going to be the same for you as it is for me, unless we have exactly the same amount of haste, of course. But so your pre-casting like goal is to have your first Wrath and your Starfire hit the boss when exactly when the tank pulls, right? So your first two Wraths are faster and hit harder. And then you go into your lunar eclipse, you cast your star fire, and then you take it from there. I have also confirmed now after playing a bit. Once you pop your incarnation, you will get two dream state buffs. So you will get a renewed two set when you pop your incarn. Why is this important? Well, it is important because you don't want to waste these. On a pool, there's not really any issue because you are not going to waste it. You're gonna use it twice, and then and then the pool happens, and then you're gonna pop in card, and you're gonna use it again. Um, so that's not really a big issue. It's more inside of a rotation. Let's say you get out of Eclipse and you have Incarn ready for the second time, or in another type of situation, maybe in a dungeon, you might be out of Eclipse, and then you have again two Dream State procs. Because as you can see, when Eclipse ends, or when you enter combat, when you get out of Eclipse, you get two Dream State buffs again, right? I'm having some lag here. There we go. So if that happens, if you go out of your eclipse and you are about to pop incarnation again, use your dream state procs first, right? So you go out of Eclipse, and then you're about to go into Incarn, and you're doing damage. Use cast two Wraths or two Starfires, depending on the situation, and then you pop your Incarnation, and then you get two more buffed Wraths or Starfires again because you popped Incarnation. Now I tried to find a weak aura to track this. I haven't found one. So this is something that you would have to get used to. I highly suggest that you stand on a dummy and try and see what happens, right? Um, See what happens when you cast. Uh, that's basically it. Other than that, we're still doing the same things. Obviously, there was a change to Wrath of the Stars, so it's no longer a buff that you have to keep track on and renew with your spenders. It's a passive that just gives Star Search and Starfall more damage and they reduce the cost of it, right? So this is the build I'm running in dungeons. There are other variations. I'm also thinking about testing something else. Um, Possibly not running mushrooms, going with Fury of Balloon and Radiant Moonlight. That's also a good option. You could also go with New Moon and take Wayland's guidance and go with those. That's also another option. Especially, I'd say, I mean, there are many variations when you check logs and the top players in Mythic Plus and rating. It's quite interesting actually to see the big spread. However, like when you do get your four sets, the new four sets, I would never ever go without any like go without Elun's guidance. Because Elun's guidance reduces when you have incarnation, reduces the astral power cost of Star Search by 8 and the astral power cost of Starfall by 10, right? Together with this, and which means that you will be able to use more spenders because they will be way cheaper than normal, right? So you have a discount here, uh, where they are already 10% reduced in cost, and then you reduce them even more with the loose guidance. And as you can see here again on the two sets, or the four sets, which I don't have, as you can see again, the four set it says Star Surge or Starfall increases your current Eclipse's arcane or nature damage bonus by an additional 2% up to 10, which means that when you are in Eclipse, after you have cast five spenders, Starfall or Star Surge, you will be up at that 10%, and that will persist until that Eclipse ends. Like I haven't tested this out because I don't have the four set, but as it stands now with my gear and with the spec I use for raiding, the single target spec in particular, when you're doing a boss pull or when you're popping incarnation, it doesn't have to be a bloodlust on pull, but when you use incarnation together with bloodlust, like I've been able to extend my incarnation two times at like easy mode, which means that you're gonna have that 10% extra damage for a very, very long time. Now, what is best in what situation and all of that is also very interesting. But this is a short video about the two sets. I don't want to go all over the place like I have a tendency to do because there's just so much to talk about, and I am really passionate about Moonkin, so I love to talk about it. Um, but let's just have a look at that. Uh, so there's no way to see that I have this buff, right? This is not it, right? And this is not it. There's no way to track it. It's just there, which is like it would be nice to have some form of counter or some form of aura of some kind. It would have been great, but we don't have that currently, like I said, and I haven't found a weak aura for it. So that's that. So the first two rests, I mean, you will see because it's faster, and then you will just have to remember. You have to practice this to the point where you remember. Okay, every pull, I have two of those. Every time I exit Eclipse, I have two of those. Every time I pop Incarn, I have two of those, right? And you don't want to waste them. You don't want to get two Dream State buffs because you exit Eclipse and then instantly go into Incarnation because that incarnate it's not like you get four dream state buffs at that point. No, the incarnation buffs, they override the previous ones. So you really want to use those before you pop your incarnation. But in a boss pool, if you're popping the incarnation on pull, that is not an issue. Um, but yeah, let's see. I'm just gonna do it. It's I get it that it might be hard to follow, but if you're watching this and you want to see it more closely or you didn't quite catch it, and I'm thinking about looking at my cast ball, which is usually down here, right? You see how fast it is, or you can check that out. You can also slow down the speed of the video itself. I highly suggest that you do that if you want to look at it more closely. But let's have a look. I've also changed. This is a single target build I've been using for Nimue. Seems to be doing better on Nimue with the Friend of the Fae because you get this passive damage basically boost, and you have to move a lot, very often. So if there's a single target fight where you have to move a lot, I feel like this is actually stronger than the other one. It depends on from boss to boss, right? Volkoros, this might still be good. I don't feel like there's, I mean, yeah, there's movement, but it's not as bad. So I would probably go with my double full bonus, but in any case, that's besides the point. I'm going off the rails again. So let's see. So the Warrior Overloon Starfires, they count towards the two set. So that's something to keep in mind. When you don't have Warrior Overloon, you want to do like the classic thing where you start your pre-cast. I'll do it now. Starfire, that's not buffed. This one is buffed, and then you cast a Wrath so that you use both of those two set bonuses um, to get the most damage out, right? I'm tired and I'm sick. Forgive me. I'm not doing this perfect. But the key point here is that when you're going into a pool, right? And when your eclipse ends, that's when you get those two buffed rats or starfighters. That's gonna let me go out. I'm gonna have a you see how fast that was? Is it worth to do that? Yeah, 100% extra damage, which can also convert into smolder. It is definitely worth it. You're losing damage by not taking the two sets into account, right? But I also want to try with the other build that I used to use, where let's say there's a fight where you don't have to move that much, or there's always some movement, but not like Nimue, for example, where you have to move almost constantly because you have to do soaks, right? If you're just standing still doing damage in Nimue, you're doing the boss wrong. You have to help the team out or you won't make it. I'm just gonna cut to that here. Okay. So this is the build that I have been using otherwise, obviously. So 2 points go away here, one puts here, and I put another one here. Now, one thing is interesting when you look at Warcraft logs on the top Moon King players in the world, on Mythic, for example, or many of them in single target fights are even picking wild mushrooms and they're taking Starfall instead of Warrior Overload because what's the point of taking Warrior Overload with a two set? I get that. Makes sense. Not because they're gonna use Starfall in those fights that they have it talented, but they don't need Warrior Overload, so they put it here anyways. Then they have mushrooms. Many of them have mushrooms talented, which is also very interesting. I'm guessing that's a way for, I mean, yeah, there's more damage, but mostly probably for the waning highlight. I'm not sure. Um, I'm doing fairly well, I'd say. I don't have like when last week I was parsing really well. Now I'm a bit behind on the gear because I haven't been grinding like I did in the beginning of season two. Also, these guys they have a full four set. They're at least 470 item level, the Mythic Pro guys. And I have decided to not go into a Mythic progression like I did in season two this season. I want to take it easy. I've joined the guild of AOTC players, and I'm fine with that for this time around. I also screwed up a little bit with the request stuff, and I'm like, you overcap so fast, and yeah, that's another story. Uh, all right, let's see. Uh, I don't think I had a while on the last one. Then, if anyways, the same advice, right? There, I made it. Got the Starfire in there. I thought I was doing bad damage with the other spec. I don't know why. Then suddenly this is the most damage I've ever done on a dummy. Uh, and we do this, do this, do this. Belongs. Am I having this is ah wonder how much of the damage is from that. Dream surge, dream fall, 2%. Okay, not enough to be significant. Well, that was interesting. But just keep that in mind. Like this is the single target spec that I prefer personally myself. You have 2 points in Smolder, 2 points in Balance of All Things. You have these Bam Bam. And yeah, it's just very tight, right? Again, you can just go with that Starfall if you wish. Like, Doesn't really matter. Like, let's say you're gonna do null root, and you need obviously you're gonna need some AoE, right? But things die. It depends also on how fast things die. Um, but you might wanna like take one out here. You're gonna take away this for sure. You go here. You go here because you want to have Starfall for the ads. You want the Starfall to do damage, and yeah, something like that. As an example, you have still have more star astral power regen and all of that. You have those guidance in six, right? You could even go like that and then have shrooms so that once everything is booped up, you pop a shroom and then you have Waning Twilight and it's ready to go. You just start pumping Starfire, right? That's also another way to do it. It depends on how much you want to min max, right? Other than that, this is still perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. And as you can see, this spec does quite well damage, good damage, and I'm only 463 item level. So yes, I do kind of wanna try this again. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit shocked by the damage. Uh, let's try that again. It's not possible that this spec could have done like 200k more burst and 100k more. Is it? We shall see. Starfire, not up. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's looking a little bit better. Oh, lucky cock. I was just about to say I should have saved some astral power and then I got the move. Also, the big moon, full moon, you really don't want to use outside of Incarnation or Pulsar, because that's when it does its most of its damage, right? The new moon you can pretty much cast whenever you want, but make sure that you're inside of at least inside of an eclipse. Half moon, I mean, yeah, there's a world where you might only want to cast that in also reincarnation as well. I'm not sure, but you know, sometimes we have to go outside of the norm and use stuff anyways. So you see, like as for pure like damage, this is not as powerful as the other spec. But you have to take into account that this spec is made for fights where you have to move a lot. And if you have to move a lot, then the other spec with the double moves, you're gonna lose out on damage because you have to cast stuff, right? Obviously, you have to cast stuff with this as well, but you have 20 seconds of 10% extra damage as soon as you get the Fade, and the Fade does some passive damage as well. But those 20 seconds or 10% extra, they give you time to move about if you need to, and give you a damage boost once you can finally start casting, right? So even though standing still on a dummy like this, you're not doing the same amount of damage. In another type of scenario, you're actually doing more simply because you have to run around. Those are things you can play around with, right? And that's a way to think about it. If you want to try to optimize your damage on each boss. And this all bosses are very different in this raid. I absolutely love this raid. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I love the concept of the entire Emerald Green thing. I love how Moon King plays at the moment. I love how the ring looks and how it feels. I think it's extremely well made. Lisa has done an incredible job. Oh, I'm gonna save the moon because I should have popped in card together with my trinket. Um, but I think they've done a good job, and all of the bosses are so different. Well, not mega different, but they all have their own flavor, right? It's really cool to see. I'm actually doing more damage than my sims say I should be doing. So I think I'm fine. Again, I'm 10 item levels and a 4 set behind the top, and also this trinkets. So and I'm not saying that's the only reason why they're kicking my ass. Obviously, these other monkey are really fucking good. They would probably kick my ass anyways. I haven't been very consistent, and at the moment, I'm not taking liberties in so many other things in life happening. So I think Prague is not on my priority list at the moment. But yeah, uh, there you go. So I hope this clears up a little bit about the two set, and also you have these two variants of the single target build depending stuff like that. But yeah, this one is definitely my absolute favorite. So in certain situations, I rather be more proactive in my movement. But it's this with a friend of the face less. It's more forgiving because you get that buff on it's there, right? Yeah, you'd have to die for the, and if you're dying, then it doesn't matter what spec you have anyways, right? But yeah, that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope it cleared it up. And if you have any questions, just put them in the comments. If you have any suggestions or feedback, positive or negative, put it in the comments. And I will for sure take it into account and read it. And I hope that you are having a wonderful start of the week. Ciao.